Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so I am on time check, I've been told. So let's get started right away. I'm Ravi Manik from Broadcom, and our legal guys want to show you this before I start, so I do that. Okay, let's get on to the business. Broadcom, I think many of you know us, but quickly, we are a Fortune 300 company. We make chips which go inside all the IoT devices we've been talking about. We are one of the largest volume semi company in the world with a huge IP portfolio. And a lot of you guys knows us from Raspberry Pi. We are inside the Raspberry Pi, all of them, including the most recently announced Raspberry Pi Zero, which is a $5 computer. So again, that continues to change the dynamics, and thanks to the previous speaker, I already have a plug about Raspberry Pi. Okay, so what's happening now, right? There is a lot of action happening in IoT. If you look at it, how it evolves from this point forward, it's all about business model. And I think previous speakers as well as talked about it, very specific business models in surveillance and others. And that's really what's required for us to take IoT from where it is today, a vision, to the next level. So we're definitely looking at cloud control, cloud-driven IoT. Again, I don't have to spend time on it. Enough convincing was done by my previous speaker. So again, also for entrepreneurs, what is very critical is to have an idea and to be able to develop it, deploy it, and see it works, and tweak it continuously in a very agile fashion. And that's very critical in the IoT universe. So again, I'll talk a lot more about it, how you take a conception to actual products very, very fast. And finally, talk a little bit more about the machine-to-machine communication and how that's changing the IoT universe as well. So what's happening today? Today, there are a lot of designs. There's hundreds and thousands of designs, a lot of entrepreneurs, anything from wearable to home automation, security, industrial. So a lot of action. The way we call it, it's like eating soup with a fork. A lot of action, not much nutrition. So we got to change that. We got to change that, and that's going to change. See, today's systems are going to become tomorrow's IoT systems, which will have an evolved business model. So what you have today is a very simple application. You have a smartphone app, you switch on the bulb, yeah, it works. But what's the use? But what you see is how it's going to be 3 to 5 years from now. These will become autonomous system. They will understand the pattern, they will understand the presence, as well as the proximity of things around, people around, and then make decision on them. So, if you look at what's switching on a bulb today to a complete home automation and autonomous system which detects who's in the room, what their preferences are, and learn from the patterns. So again, this is an evolution of the business model. We are on the left, moving to the right. Similarly, today's single function apps will become proximity aware multifunction apps, and they'll grow again to be able to collect all the data, be processed, analyzed in the cloud, and then make decisions in real time. So it'll be precise, it'll be real time, and scalable. I think these are some of the things which would happen as the IoT business model is enabled, going just from devices to services. So we talked about software as a services, we talked about product as a services. What you would see with IoT is a machine as a services, or IoT devices as a services. So that's the evolution we expect to see in the IoT model. It's a very good start today and a lot of vision, but all of these things will eventually come together, enabled by connectivity, which is extremely important, the growth of processing and analytics in the cloud, which is where the majority of the processing would take place, and then eventually showing that data or results of that to the user. So the target market, so while we're talking about smart cities or agriculture, I think that there is a huge range of target market, going all the way from home automation, healthcare, wearables, security, and industrial. But the way you have to look at it is how this will evolve, right? Again, each of these individual applications, you have a weighing scale today, we have all Fitbits today, they all have to come together as a service. So again, that's what we expect to happen as we move forward. So moving to a little bit of M2M, which is again in the space of IoT, but talking about data. To solve most problems today, if you think about it, and I'll take an example of Bangalore's traffic. I'm sure most of you struggled through that to come here. And the first question everybody asks is like, oh, IoT is great, but will it solve our traffic problems? Actually, sadly, the answer is no. As you wonder why, it's like, to solve the traffic problem, we have to get the traffic engineering done. You have to understand what needs to get done. So there is a process that needs to be followed to solve a traffic problem. What IoT and technology does is enable that process, right? Today, you're manually counting how many cars are going through a street and how many, what's the traffic pattern manually. What IoT will do is enable it to be done in real time, scalable. So there has to be a desire to solve the problem, and I think again, I'm going to keep referring to him because there's a desire to, surveil the whole city, and once there is a desire, yes, there is a solution, and that's how it gets enabled. So again, the business models have to be there to show the value of these systems. Once people see the value of the system and what IoT does, it's a method to get you there. It's a tool which allows you to get there. So primarily what IoT is doing is giving you data. All the endpoints, if you look at the IoT endpoints, there's just a lot of data coming through. So it's a process of collecting, transmitting data, and making decisions on them. So this is at a very high level the anatomy of an IoT system or an M2M system, where you're looking at, if you just walk here, you have all the sensors on the top, multiple sensors, whether it's cameras or temperature and fuel and a lot of other things. All of the data is being fed into a cloud where it's being analyzed at the data centers, and again, the output is going out to the user, which could, it's all doing all the learnings and the analytics based on that. So, and the reason I'm bringing all this up is because even as Broadcom, our path forward is towards to enable IoT devices, the chips which go inside these IoT devices, to be cloud enabled. And today we are actually going to be announcing a product for the same. So I'll come to that shortly. But again, whether it's smart cities, it's agriculture, it's all about collecting the data and then applying the analytics to it. The process, and again, I think I'm repeating myself, the process has to be there. We need to see how we are going to solve the problem. IoT will help us with that. So this is the new product we are announcing globally. So again, in line with what we've been doing with the Raspberry Pi and earlier Broadcom platforms for IoT, this is a cloud IoT platform with integrated sensors and MCU in it. And Broadcom being ahead in connectivity, I think what we have done is something revolutionary in this specific product. We have Bluetooth Smart, which is BLE, low energy, Bluetooth Mesh, Zigbee, multiple protocols, all on a single device. On this tiny device, which would have 4 years of battery life on a single coin cell. What we are doing is building the Lego blocks. The problems have to be solved, and the entrepreneurs and the companies in the room are solving those. What we are trying to do here is we're giving you the Lego blocks, demystifying the technology, simplifying it making it easier for you to use and take this and apply it to your vision. That's our goal here. So again, solving a lot of problems, demystifying technologies, because one of the first questions we hear, especially small companies and entrepreneurs, is like, we are 1% or a 3% company. How do we get support on this complex products? What we have done is demystified it. There is a support which is scalable, and this allows people to take these designs and then implement their vision, build the devices, apply to new business models. And there is a whole end-to-end ecosystem. I'll not go through the details here, but again, we have many partners, some of them in the room today, including cloud service partners and OEMs, and where you can buy these devices. Oh, I'm ahead. I have 4 more minutes, so thank you very much. Any questions in the room, since I have, yes?
Could you bring up the spec of that wonderful device that you just showed, the multiple?
Absolutely, actually, if we can pull the slide out. Okay, I had expected this to come.
Yeah.
No, I expected it to come, so there it is.
Yeah, I just want to know, does it also support Wi-Fi?
So this specific device does not, but there are Wicked platforms in the same family which supports Wi-Fi.
Because on your slide it mentioned also advanced support for combinations of Bluetooth, Zigbee and Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, yes. So
this does not?
This specific device does not,
okay.
But there is a family of these devices which already supports. We have a team here with our distributor, and we can absolutely take this
okay.
in more detail for you. But yeah, we have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth devices. Again, think of us as the Lego guys, right? We're just giving you the blocks. The problems have to be solved by you, by the entrepreneurs. Okay, I guess that's all we have.
Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you very much.